Hello and welcome to Sideways. This week, I can't accurately remember what we were talking about because we just got a new puppy and I haven't been getting any sleep. Funnily enough, taking care of an animal is connected to this week's theme, which is all about working out what's important and then making sure you spend enough time on it, rather than other distractions that demand attention but don't really matter. Other than that, I'll recall a conversation about novelist Henry James, my disappointment at the way Martin's Sideways Spotify playlist is shaping up, and we ponder on the possible reasons that Jay Blades rarely seems to do any furniture restoration on hit BBC TV show The Repair Shop. How to know what's important.
Good morning, how are you doing?
I thought I'd let you speak first today.
Oh, okay, yeah, thank you.
That's all right. I'm all right. There was someone just walked down the road. I could see, looked just like Captain Sensible.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did he have the beret and glasses?
It's a woman.
Oh, the woman. I'm sure he'd be delighted. Did she have a beret and sunglasses on and a big fluffy jumper?
Beret, sunglasses, jumper, stripy shirt.
Oh, mate, the whole lot. Perhaps she was a bit of a sensible fan.
Yeah. He had a guitar for sale on eBay I saw a couple of weeks ago.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did he? Not the woman that's walking down the road, but I'm assuming the real Captain Sensible at this point.
Yeah, the real Captain Sensible. Well, I wouldn't have known if the woman walking down the road had something for sale on eBay, would I? How would I know that?
I don't know. But anyway, you didn't buy it.
I didn't lean out the window and say, "Excuse me, have you got anything for sale on eBay?"
Yeah. I'm in line for a new Fender Strat. You got one? Yeah.
Do you ever ask random strangers that you pass if they've got anything for sale on eBay, just on the off chance?
I've never tried it, mate, but they've sown the seed. I'm in.
You used to like a charity shop, didn't you?
I do. Yeah, I still do, mate. Yeah, you can't go wrong with a charity shop. You get all sorts of bargains.
Yeah, I don't think I'm skilled enough at the whole kind of charity shop thing.
It's not really a skill. You go in there and have a look. It's not that difficult.
Yeah, you say that, you're passing it off as if it's nothing, but you know, the people who are in the know, they know the best charity shops, don't they? They know which days they tend to put new stuff out. Come on, I can see what you're trying to do here. You're trying to keep me away from charity shops by telling me there's no dark art to it.
No, I'm just using false modesty.
Modesty?
Yeah.
False modesty?
Yeah. To hide my absolute skill at the job. Well, actually, before we start, a couple of things that have come up. First of all, I was a bit upset by that link to an app you sent me, the Beer Buddy.
Oh yeah, Tom showed it to me. My son showed it to me. He's on it with all his friends, and it kept pinging. I thought, crikey, there's a lot of people having a lot of beer out there.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, really. I had a look at it, and I thought it's obviously it's an app to let people around you know when and where you're drinking
and what you're drinking.
Well, that's it. I mean, you can log in there also. I looked through it. You can log the amount you drink in there, which I suppose could be quite good if you're thinking, to try and keep this down. But it would just be a badge of honour, wouldn't it?
Definitely.
I mean, can you imagine? I mean, problem drinkers wouldn't log the amount they put in there. Imagine that. You're getting home and your partner says, "Do you have to look at your app?" And you wouldn't log all the stuff on there, would you? I mean, it's just, and you then in the end you get too drunk to put it to use it properly anyway. But you would, wouldn't you? It's just like a group WhatsApp, basically, isn't it? There's nothing good about it.
Yeah, it is difficult to see what the real benefit of logging your alcoholic intake is, other than for medical reasons.
Yeah, I can imagine if I'd logged my drinks, I'd have used up my phone's memory on an average night out.
You'd have got some little message up, wouldn't you, that says, "I think you've made an error."
Yeah. Yeah, it's encouraging people to get to drink more. No, it's not.
You're right. If they should put a feature on there that sort of just pops up the little message which says, "I think you've probably had enough now. Might be time to go home."
No, it'd be time to delete the app. That's what I'd have done.
Well, I doubt that you would have installed the app in the first place, would you?
No, I wouldn't. No.
I mean, it wouldn't really matter where anybody else was drinking. The only thing that mattered was where you were drinking.
Yeah. Company was it was okay at times, but most of the time it was spent drinking on my own. I'd be logging it on my own.
Exactly. Yeah, if you've got company with you, then you've got to waste valuable drinking time talking, haven't you?
You have, and wasting time putting it in the phone. No. I wouldn't, it doesn't suit any purpose at all. Can't believe it. But actually, I just thought of another before we start thing as well.
Well, hang on. Before we leave that, essentially you've created a new feature there, which is app reviews. So it's a big thumbs down for Beer Buddy from the Sideways podcast team.
Yeah, 1 star, because you can't give it 0.
Yeah. Okay, we'll have to find one to review next week, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll leave that in your hands then, shall I?
Right. Okay. Cross. Well, we know what'll happen then, don't we?
Actually, I've got 2 points. I've got 2 points, further points to talk about before we start. Actually.
All right. Go on.
One which was just on that Beer Buddy app thing. Just moving on from that slightly, I noticed there's a certain brewery that's bought out. You can buy a 24 case of lager, each with the different teams of the competing football nations in the Euros.
Really?
Right? Yeah, there is, and so it's another way of sort of making drinking way too much lager fun, and it's another link between alcohol and sport, which.
No, you could probably draw for yourself the flags of the 24 nations on different cups of tea, couldn't you? Or something?
You could. Now you're talking.
Yeah,
now you're talking.
Yeah. Get one of those mugs that you can kind of draw on and then wipe clean again, and then you can draw for yourself in a mindful way the appropriate 2 flags of the teams competing. Drink your nice brew, and then for the following game you can rub them off and do it all again.
It's a good idea, but I won't take you up on it.
Well, there's no point, is there? There's only 1 game left.
I know. I won't introduce it for the next World Cup either. But anyway, the second point I wanted to talk about, a more serious matter, was you probably saw on the news about Dan Carden, the Labour MP, who stood up and spoke about his alcoholism in the Commons.
I did see that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was quite... I mean, he's into his 3rd year of sobriety now, and he was saying how proud he was of that, and that he'd nearly died twice through drinking. And he further explained, obviously, during sort of Pride Month, it was a ramification of denying his sexuality, which sort of led him down this path of drinking way too much. And that does crop up from time to time. We've had that in groups in exactly that same form. So it is a serious issue. And in that he talked about needing AA and psychotherapy. So he gave your boys a bit of a thumbs up as well.
Not me personally, was it?
Not. He didn't mention you personally, no. Oh. But he said, to stay sober, it takes daily commitment and determination. And he mentioned about others in the House of Commons who sadly hadn't made it. Remember Charles Kennedy? Yeah. It was just a shame that the House of Commons was pretty empty-ish. Obviously, during COVID, there's limited amount of people can go in there, but also it's towards the end of the session where there weren't many people. But the people in there all sort of turned around and were listening to what he had to say. So I thought it's quite a powerful statement. And I think we need that. We need people in places of authority that can acknowledge the problems that alcohol have caused and continue to cause in society.
With people with a public profile.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do, and big thumbs up to Dan.
Well done, Dan.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like a DJ again. Yeah. If you let us get in touch, Dan, and we'll play you a request.
You do keep drifting into DJ mode, don't you?
Yeah, maybe that's some subconscious desire to be a DJ.
Yeah.
Do you think that's possible?
Yeah. I'll give it a crack, mate. You never know. You're never too old. Anyway, to give my notes a bit of a framework about what's important, I wanted to start with a couple of quotes. I know you like these. And see how we go.
Yeah.
See how they land with you.
Mm.
The first one is the most important things in life aren't things, which I know we discussed that particular one on the telephone the other night, didn't we? And I think your very clever wife shouted out in the background she knew who that was by, which I thought was very impressive.
Yeah, but I don't think it turned out that she did she?
I think, it was Anthony D'Angelo that actually said it. I think she
said Maya Angelou.
Oh, did she? Well, she got it nearly right. How about that?
Well, no, they're completely different people.
Oh, right, okay.
Don't give her credit where it's not due.
Well, she had a crack at it anyway.
She did, and she got extremely close.
She did.
More by luck than judgment.
Well, yeah, we all do a bit of that, don't we? But the second one was ask yourself what's really important and then have the wisdom and courage to build your life around the answer. So, yeah, I quite like those. And so that led me on to do the research, really. And when you're looking at what's important in your life, in most of the areas that I looked at, or most of the different blogs and different websites I went on to, all seem to be define what your values are initially before you can crack on with this. So when you define your personal values, you discover what's really important to you. That's what sort of come across. I mean, would you agree with that? Was that a good way to start?
Yeah, I do think it's a good way to start because I think part of the difficulty in this whole area, and probably one of the reasons why I suggested doing an episode on this, even though I can't remember quite why I did, is because we're so overstimulated, aren't we, in society now? There's so many different distractions that it's quite easy to have moved away from things that are, constitute our core values without realising that we've done so, and spending an inordinate amount of time on things that actually, when it comes down to it, don't really have much relevance to our lives and actually don't create a particularly positive emotional reaction in us anyway. Like, I don't know, flicking through pictures of people falling over on TikTok, which is funny, but you don't want to spend too much time doing it, do you?
No, you don't. No, it can't be top of your priority list, can it? When the first thing you get up in the morning, you think, I want to do that.
No, but I bet a lot of people do.
Well, most people wake up and check their phones. And so it is that technology has drifted into that, isn't it? It's become very much a priority. Mm-hmm. But one of the articles I was reading, and you may find this correct or might think it's controversial, but they say a good way of starting to do this, to define what's important to you, is to look back in your life and identify when you felt really good and really confident that you were making good choices. And when I read that, I thought, is that right? I'd have to go a long way back, apart from my recent past. I have to go a long way back to find areas and times where perhaps I was making good choices. I don't know if I ever did. Wow. And I'm not sure that's a good reference point, is it, to look back there? I mean, our values are going to change, aren't they, as time goes by? And we constantly reevaluate what's important, don't we?
Yeah, we do. But I think where that statement has some traction and some relevance is, I mean, I've never kind of considered looking at it in that way before, but just sitting here thinking about it, if you think about some of the big decisions that you've made that are enduring in your life, like, I don't know, getting married, having children, the work that you do, the comment there, the suggestion there is that we examine those kind of big things that might have had an impact on our lives and decide which of them have actually led to something positive and life affirming.
I mean, if you're looking at core values, I mean, that's all core values that don't change. And I think, again, some of the research was looking at those, and different articles had different core values. But generally speaking, it was things like family, which was a big one that came up all the time, health, dignity, and the ability to start again. I quite liked that one because that came up on a couple of occasions, the ability to start again. And that last one is so important for us in recovery, especially if you're coming back from lapses or you've had several goes at it and you're not giving up, you're cracking on. So I thought that was quite a good core value, but it only came up on a couple of occasions out of all the different articles I looked at. Yeah.
I forgot what I was going to say about that.
Was it good?
No.
Okay, we'll move on, shall we?
Yeah, we might as well move on, yeah.
But it also looked at determining, to list and prioritise your top values. So again, we talked about this in the past, haven't we, about what you're thinking about, and then you put it down on paper and start to make sense of it that way. And to prioritise them, which again, that's going to change, isn't it? So as long as you constantly reevaluate and readdress that, it can remain quite relevant.
Yeah, I think it's important to understand what your values are, but I'm not sure about the benefit of prioritising them. I don't know if you need to prioritise those. I think they can just be important and you kind of let them drift in and out according to what's going on in your life, don't you? It feels to me as if the danger of prioritising things like that puts kind of unnecessary, undue pressure on you, really.
Does it? Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, to keep them in that order.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like, if you're spending time with your family, your priority should be spending time with your family. If you're spending time, I don't know, reading a book to kind of broaden your horizons or enrich your mind, then that should be your priority when you're doing it. I think part of what gives us a lot of problems in modern society is that we can't stick with one thing, can we, for 5 minutes? It's like, you're watching the telly and on your phone, or you're reading a book and, I don't know, well, it's difficult to do anything apart from reading a book, and you can't really read a book and watch the telly. But you know what I mean? It's like we're, as I said earlier on, we're so kind of overstimulated. It's almost as if we don't want to do one thing because we're worried about all the things we're not doing.
Yeah.
And I think that was probably some of my thinking behind the whole idea of what's important, because when we lose sight of what's important, we do a multiplicity of things in a quite shallow or poor fashion, and perhaps never get the most out of the things that would give us the greatest benefit. And
there was a book that I obviously haven't had time to read it, but I may well at some point. I've been reading about extracts from it. And the title of it, I know you're going to really like, because it's a phrase that it does it for you, and it's called "Don't Sweat the Small Stuff" by Richard Carlson.
Yeah, I know that book.
Do you?
Yeah. Don't sweat this. I can't stand that phrase.
No, I know. When you told me that, I thought, right, I'm going to look that up and see if I can squeeze that into this episode.
Oh dear, yeah. I mean, I'll tell you why I don't like it. It's because it reminds me of corporate speak.
Yeah, it does. I agree.
Like, let's bounce an idea around, or let's run a few ideas up the flagpole and see who salutes it.
I know, and all those sort of horrible phrases, like it does fall into that category. I agree, but some of the content and the reviews I read of the book and some of the extracts from it would seem to be quite good. The little things that drive us mad every day, or it can drive you insane sometimes, like traffic congestion, or bad service at a restaurant, or a co-worker nicking all of your credit for your work, or your in-laws meddling and that sort of thing.
Or someone knocking the lens out of your glasses at a football match.
At a football match, that irked me greatly when that happened.
Yeah, you were sweating the small stuff though, weren't you?
I was sweating the small stuff, and then I realised I've got another eye to look through, and I was all right.
Yeah, and I could see perfectly well in those days anyway, so I could have told you what was happening.
You could have done, yeah. You use sign language. I wanted to use a few sign languages on you when you've done it, pal. Anyway, this is relevant at this point as well, because in the book it describes really how to deal with your angst or anger. And what it goes on to explain is that it's not some upbeat self-help prescriptions that we need to help ourselves change, but simply a measure of perspective. So looking at the perspective as how really important these things are, which goes back to the title of my notes, what's important. And so you can identify your core values, and you can sweep aside some of the smaller stuff. And I think you can fine your life down to a much more manageable system. In this book, it also explains about what he calls the 5-5-5 technique, where you decide if something happens to you, will it matter in 5 days' time, or 5 months, or 5 years? And it helps to gain perspective on that issue that has arisen at that time.
Yeah, I like that. I've not heard that 5-5-5 technique. In your research, did you presumably you came across and considered Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Did you?
I looked at that and I thought, I don't even understand that.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't look at it, mate. But it's quite a good shoe-in for you to show off your.
No. It wasn't that. It's more that that what you just said there with the 5-5-5 kind of feeds into it, because Maslow talks about how our needs are split into basic needs, psychological needs, and then self-fulfillment needs. So it's another way of kind of thinking about what's important. And he says that we all have the same kind of physiological needs, like enough food to eat, water to drink, somewhere to live so that we're warm and rested. And the next kind of level of our basic needs is safety and security. So if you think about those basic needs, if we're safe and secure and we've got enough food and we can rest somewhere, we're kind of going to be all right. We'll survive then. The next level up, the psychological needs, is the feeling connected. So having people in our lives that are important to us, feeling that we can make connections with friends and family. And then also the need to feel as if we're achieving something, as if we have there's a kind of purpose to our life. We're progressing, moving forward. And then the kind of top of the triangle, where it's all about kind of self-fulfillment, is about our ability to fulfill our full potential. And the wonderful thing to me about the hierarchy of needs is that when you look at that, you recognize that you can never reach the top. None of us ever get there. None of us can ever get to the point where we say, well, that's it, I've completed life now. I've done everything I could possibly do. And that's, in my view, the biggest possible reason for not pushing yourself too hard. You're never going to get there. People knock themselves out trying to achieve this and achieve that and feel as if their value is inherently connected to what they're achieving. But you're never going to achieve everything. You might as well just chill out.
I'm really like that. I'm listening intently to what you're saying, which is very rare, and because you're actually saying something very interesting there. So you'll have to either send me a link or.
We can. Actually, we'll put it on the Instagram account, since we put nothing on there pretty much.
Oh yeah, I didn't even. I forgot we had one. But anyway,
the point about that is, if you think about that in its broad sections, we have some fundamental needs to keep ourselves safe and warm, some fundamental needs that are about staying connected to the world that we live in and feeling as if we're making some sort of contribution to it, and then about our personal growth. And if you can't fit what is taking your time into one of those, you have to wonder really what you're doing. And that goes back to that flicking through TikTok and Facebook and Instagram. Which part of that? Which part of that is it helping? It's not helping you maximize your potential. It isn't helping you to be connected. In fact, what it's doing is it's helping you to feel connected when really you're not connected at all. And it certainly has no impact on your ability to, feed yourself and keep yourself warm. And it's, of course, I don't know. No, it isn't. Unless you...
I could see you struggling to come up with something slightly witty there, and it just wasn't working for you, mate, was it?
It wasn't, but I'm going to leave that in just to show that I haven't reached self-actualization.
Yeah, in fact, you're a long way from that, mate.
That's right. Yeah, I'm exactly the sort of person that Maslow was talking about. I'm miles down the pyramid.
In the book, also, there's little tips and lifestyle tips and that sort of thing to help you with your overall well-being. And there's a little quote. Well, it wasn't a quote; it was a bit of advice. It says that every day, tell at least one person something you like, admire, or appreciate about them. Now, I'm looking at you right now. I'm struggling with that. So, I'm assuming it's quite a nice thing to do, though, isn't it? Really, very, very nice thing to do. I bet not many people do it. No, I mean, okay, it's probably a bit much to expect us to do that every day when we see people or talk to them. But it'd be nice if we did it occasionally, wouldn't it? It would. I mean, I've known you over 40 years. I don't think you've ever told me anything like that. No, and or you, me. You obviously haven't read my blog this week, then. Oh no, I haven't. No. Okay. Well, I accept your apology. Oh right, okay, yeah. I'll have a read of that then. Have you bigged me up in it then in some way? No. Oh right, okay. No, I haven't bigged you up, but I have referenced my appreciation of you. Oh right, oh okay. Oh, I'm definitely going to read that now. Then can you put a link to that on the page as well, on the podcast Facebook page, so everyone can read it and see how good I am. I didn't say it's about how good you were. Oh right, okay. I said it's about my appreciation of you. I appreciate things. I appreciate a cabbage. So it's like you don't have to be achieving anything for me to appreciate you. No, you don't. It's a low bar. No, you don't, right. It's a low bar. Right. Let me tell you. Well, you've set it very low, mate. In that case, yeah, I appreciate that though. That's good. But also alongside that, which is sort of like the other side of the coin on that, is to resist the urge to criticise. Well, it's interesting, that whole idea. Resist the temptation to criticise, or whatever it was, because I'm not sure I do agree with that. I think sometimes criticism is fine. It's about, isn't it? Surely it's about the way you criticise, isn't it? It's about the way you tell. That again is kind of feeds into this. If you believe that connection with people, if you believe that being connected to people, having good relationships with people is important, that's part of what's important to you, then your ability to be able to be critical with kindness, with
a good heart I'd say it's pretty important.
I think so. No, I didn't agree with it, because I think I'd read previously on, done research over the years, or over the weeks and months we've been doing this, and a lot of time it says, some of your best friends will criticise you because it's done from a position of love, or it's done from a position of they generally want the best for you. I think
Exactly.
some people use it as a tool and a weapon to sort of try and shred your self-esteem.
Yeah, we want to feel that there's at least somebody in our lives, don't we, who will tell us the truth.
We do.
And
we do. I think that is that. Yeah, we do need to be grounded sometimes, and we can't let our egos run away with us. I think it does need to be curtailed. I agree totally. But there's another quote that I've got here, which I quite like. It leads on from that, but it's by Henry James. You know Henry James? I don't know if you had that. Did you have to read? I remember reading Washington Square at school, and it's one of those books you think, I'm really not going to enjoy it. And I absolutely loved it. But it was the quote from him said that there's 3 things are important in human life. The first is to be kind. The second is to be kind, and the third is to be kind. So I thought, well, that's okay. It's quite a soft approach to life, but yeah, I quite like that.
Henry James really meant there's one thing important in life, didn't he?
He did, really. Yeah, I was trying to stretch it out a little bit. Yeah,
he's being quite verbose for a writer, isn't he?
He is. Yes.
You think someone should have got hold of that quote and edited it down and said, "Listen, Henry, what you want to do here is you just want to say there's one important thing in life, and that's to be kind."
Yeah, someone should have said some kind criticism, would have sorted him out at that point.
Yeah, but it's true. It's true, isn't it? Because as we were discussing before, even when you can be kind, even when you're being critical.
Yes, you can. Yeah, you can.
I think unkindness, generally speaking, it's not very kind, is it?
Not very kind. He also did. Henry James also did another book, which I did start to read a long time ago, but I gave up, and it was called The Golden Bowl. And I thought, I'm not reading that because it's not about Tibetan singing bowls, so I'm not getting involved.
As you know, it isn't. It might be.
It did say so. I read the first couple of chapters. There's no singing bowls going on, and they're one of my favourites now.
It's not. Didn't say on the in the notes that it was about someone who finds a golden Tibetan singing bowl and the adventures that he has with it.
Oh, that's a novel in the making, mate, isn't it?
I might write that.
It's as good as written. The structure's there.
The narrative arc is very strong, isn't it?
It is. Right. I've come to the. Well, I've got one final quote to use here before we. It's been littered with quotes today.
Yeah, it has.
So the final one is sometimes you have to take a step back and realise what's important in your life, what you can live with, but more importantly, what you can't live without. Which it took a while for me to understand that really and think, that's quite tough. But and again, that's a sort of things are going to shift. I mean, in my active addiction, I couldn't live without alcohol, and now it's something that
now you can't live without sobriety.
Exactly. Exactly. So again, it just encompasses what we've been talking about, really prioritising, and not to sweat the small stuff.
Stop it. There's a little thing that I used to use. I haven't used it for a long time now, but I used to use it years ago. I think you find therapists do this. They have these little tools that they use, and then they kind of forget about them, don't use them, and then they're looking through their notes sometime and see it again and think, oh yeah, that was quite good, and then they start using it again. But I used to use this thing called the balance wheel with people, and if you Google it, you can find it. We can put a picture of one on the Instagram account or something. And basically, it's a wheel that's divided into, well, there are various versions of it, but the one that I used to use was divided into 8 sections, and each section was a kind of different aspect of your life. So your physical environment, your career, finance, health, friends and family, personal development, leisure and pastimes, and other relationships, something like that. And I used to get people to look at each section and try and rate how they felt things were in each of those categories on a scale of 1 to 10. And then, if you thought it was 0, you put a little line across that segment near the center. And if you thought it was 9, you'd put a line across the segment out near the outer rim. And what you'd find is how the balance was in your life. It was like, if that really were a wheel, how smooth would your life be moving along? And it's quite a good way of just kind of just doing a little sense check, which is another phrase I don't like, a little sense check of where your life is and how you might have been kind of ignoring some of the most important aspects of your life without ever realizing it. So that's another little way of kind of thinking about what's important.
Yeah, balance wheel. Yeah, good. Like that too. Well, I'm going to move on to the gratitude list.
All right.
I've got mine's quite cheesy, really. And
is it cheese?
It's not cheese, no. But
cheese. Have I had cheese? Have I had cheese? Have I had cheese on the gratitude list?
I don't know if you have you? But
I'm definitely having cheese this week then.
Okay. Oh, see, again, I've fed you your lines, saved you your research, saved your thought process. You piggybacked off what I'm going to say, and that was just a throwaway comment. Now, mine was when I was writing these notes on Friday evening, as I always do on a Friday evening. I settle down after the Zoom meeting I have with the Aspire to Be people. I write my notes. I was looking out the window and I saw there was a dramatic sunset, a dramatic sky with the sunset, full of oranges and pinks and dark blues and stuff. And it was absolutely lovely. I thought, oh, do you know what? That's lovely. I took a moment to look at it and to consider how lucky I was to have a window facing that way that showed me such a lovely, delightful sky.
Nice. The only thing that was missing, by the sound of it, was in the background a little Tibetan singing bowl.
If a guy had walked past the front of the window there with one of those, or a little series of them doing a little tune, that'd be lovely. Yeah. Anyway, so what's yours?
Cheese.
Oh, that's it. Is it? You're not going to expand on it. You just try.
No, not really. I mean, I did have something else. I did have. I listened to.
You can say that for next time if you like.
Well, it doesn't matter. I can always think of things I'm grateful for. There's a podcast called Heavyweight. I think I've mentioned it to you before, and I've listened to a couple of episodes this week. And every time I listen to it, I always think, oh, why doesn't everybody know about this podcast? It's so lovely. It's funny. It's touching. It's clever. It's just brilliant. And so I was listening to a couple of episodes of that. So that's what I was grateful for this week. I know we've had podcasts as a kind of genre in the past, but we haven't had specific ones. But so I was going to have that, but I'm also now having cheese. Okay. Any cheese, as long as it's not goat's cheese, because that's the work of the devil.
On the Spotify search, I put in there what's important, and there's quite a lot came up. There's one that I really liked by an American punk band called the Psycho Nubs, which was quite good, but it was the recording quality was very poor. There's another one by someone called Shaky J, which I quite liked.
What is that? The bloke from the repair shop on BBC?
I don't think it is, no, but I like him. He's good.
Do you? Jay Blades?
Yeah.
He never seems to do anything, does he? Standing around the repair shop, everyone else doing the flipping work, and he's standing around chatting to punters. What's going on?
Yeah, proper management. But anyway, the one I'm putting on in anyway is the importance of being idle by Oasis.
Oh dear, really?
I know. I knew it was going to upset you, so I thought that's great. I love that track.
Dear, oh dear. Horrible.
Yeah, well, I've sort of separated them from the music, so I really like that track.
Oh, well, that's interesting. That sort of begs the question. This is a debate for another day. Can you separate the artist from their art?
It's tricky sometimes, isn't it? But I don't mind the Gallagher brothers. I know they're arrogant and they're twats, but I think they're doing it in a format which is they know what they're doing.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll have to agree to disagree on that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I know you just deliberately put stuff on the playlist that I hate
to annoy you. Yeah.
The only track I ever listened to on the playlist is the Tibetan singing bowls.
Well, that's a cracker, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
Well, I hope you're recommending that to your clients if they're feeling a bit stressed. Have a listen to this track.
I can't, can I? Because it's got a load of death metal and flipping punk on it.
Well, as if you listen to the whole Spotify list. But again, as we talked about last week, it's whatever floats your boat that makes you feel comfortable.
Yeah, I'll have to start a rival Spotify playlist with lots of chill out stuff and American rock on it.
Yeah, be rubbishy folk stuff on it. No one will listen.
Rubbishy folk? Is that a genre?
It's a new one, yeah. Okay.
All right.
I'm good with it all.
Okay, excellent. Well, that's it then.
Okay.
See you on the other side. Yep, later.
Bye.
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 Sideways was created by Graham Landy and Martin Pankhurst. If you want to read more about our work or sort through the extensive archive of past episodes, just visit grahamlandywellbeing.co.uk/sideways-podcast. You can follow us on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram at Sideways Podcast, and you can email us if you have a question or if there's something you'd like us to cover. But most of all, we want to tell you how grateful we are that you come and listen, and we ask that if you've enjoyed what you've heard, that you spread the word. And we'll see you next week.